Ding dong YouTube, welcome back to the channel, the Jobless Coder here, and I just wanted to give an update of my situation, as the last video I put out was basically 2 months or a month and a half ago in mid-July, and that was actually inside of an ice cream truck. And there's just been a lot of stuff that has happened over the last month here that I just haven't had a lot of time to deal with videos or being as active on YouTube. So I wanted to just take the time now to make this video to walk through some of the things that have transpired. Now, I had mentioned in my video in the ice cream truck that I had taken a sacrifice to go and do this gig event for a single day, and that I expected that as a result of it, that it could actually lead to further work. And that's exactly what happened. Is the woman who owns this ice cream truck company, it's actually quite cool. The name of the company is called Mr. Cool Ice Cream, and it's actually Vancouver's longest running ice cream truck company. So I had approached her afterwards, and I talked about the possibility of getting a personal loan to actually cover the expense of rent the next month. Otherwise, I was once again in the boat facing possible homelessness, and she actually agreed to an $800 personal loan, and as a result of that, I continued to work for her to work off the loan, and then just continued working to make a bit of extra money. Which led me to find myself in a very interesting situation, whereas before I swore up and down I wasn't going to transit, or I wasn't willing to transit an hour downtown every single day and an hour back from work for a good paying computer job. Now I find myself transiting 2 hours every single day down to Surrey just to work for this ice cream truck company. As it is, my house is basically a 40-minute walk from any SkyTrain in any direction, and so I've got to take a bus about 15-20 minutes or whatever on the bus to get to the SkyTrain. Then I have to take the SkyTrain all the way down to Surrey Central, and then from there I have to transit to another bus, and once I'm on that bus, the stop that I get off of is still 2 kilometers walk away from where this business is located. And so it's quite a transit to go down there and then come back, and as a result I've been through quite a lot of very interesting and strange situations over the last month. I've slept on the top of freezers, I've slept on the ground, I've slept in the back of ice cream trucks, I've even slept under a tree in the forest. I've slept under trees in the park on 168th Ave. It's ridiculous, the amount of things I've been through. And I've had the cops called on me, I've been locked out of the house, I've been denied access to use the bathroom while at work. It's just a bizarre situation of circumstances, and just in the past month that I've had to deal with, let alone the entire past 2 years of my life that have just been this chaotic roller coaster. So I've been telling my friends at this point I should just probably write a fucking book. So I'm actually in the process of writing a book now, and it's going to be called I Can't Get a Job. The subtitle of the book will be So Therefore I Wrote This Book Instead. And the whole premise of it is I'm going to go through basically everything that I've ever done in my life for money, because I've done some pretty strange things. Everything that I've done in pursuit of a job, education, and things like that. The lessons I've learned, and hopefully somebody can find it as an inspirational thing. I don't know. It's all about the perseverance and the fact that I never give up. I just hope that it has a happy ending, because I'm actually still living the process of this book, because I still am technically unemployed working for this ice cream truck company. It pays cash under the table, and the other thing about it is it's a seasonal gig. So coming up very shortly here in the fall and winter time, that's basically at the end of the ice cream truck seasons. So what happens next, I don't really know. And my job has a few perks, I will say. I get all the free ice cream I want. I get to drive around and sell ice cream to little kids, or I can go to an event that's been pre-arranged with some company that they've already paid for all the ice cream. I just go there and hand out free ice cream. It's pretty interesting, but at the same time, like I said, it's seasonal. It makes a little bit of money, not a lot, just enough to basically cover the bills. But the other thing about it is, because it pays cash under the table, I'm also now on welfare. Now I know you're probably thinking, oh, well, you can't do that, you're cheating the system or whatever. Welfare is for people that don't have a job. Well, I mean, look at it this way. I don't technically have a job, because the moment that the winter comes, or the moment that the fall comes, I'm out of a job anyways. So I might as well get on welfare now and keep on riding that, even though, yeah, I'm making a little bit of money from this, and the government doesn't know because it's all paid cash under the table. I mean, well, look, The welfare, I get $760 a month now, and that covers about half of what I paid to rent this place. Oh, you should move someplace cheaper. Well, I mean, they've broken it down specifically. The thing about welfare is that the moment you get a job, or the moment they start seeing income come in from other sources, is now you're off of the welfare. So the most you can get with welfare that I've got is about $750 a month, and I think they break it down to about $350 for rent and $300 for food. But like, I'm living in Vancouver here, and even if I went to like far out Langley where it's really cheap, and I was renting with 2 or 3 other people in a single house, I don't think you could find a place for $350. I don't think you could even find a place in Alberta that cheap for rent. I mean, it's just not feasible. Now, I had also mentioned that I wasn't willing to transit downtown an hour every day for a high-paying computer job, but then you wonder why I'm willing to go 2 hours. Well, number one is that I trust this woman and her company, and that she does need my help, and I mean, between me and my friend, we're her only drivers for the ice cream truck. The other thing is that, like I said, she was willing to give me a personal loan, so that creates a personal connection and bond. And beyond that, if I was getting a job at some computer company downtown, that's basically set in stone. That's like, okay, this is the next year, maybe next couple years, maybe the next 5 years of my life, this is what I do every single day, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. But with this, it's kind of like I can pick and choose when I want to work. I can work on the weekends if I want, I can work through the weekday, and so there's more flexibility with it. As well, I still have the opportunity to do computer related stuff. I've basically taken over the Instagram page for this company. It's Mr_Cool_ice cream. As well, I'm building a brand new website entirely from scratch because her other website is fairly outdated. And so I've basically taken myself up as being the new marketing director for Mr. Cool Ice Cream, and that's essentially what I've been telling people that I'm doing. So now that I've gone through everything that's happened and transpired over the last month, that leads me into my topic for today, which is that you're trying too hard, I'm trying too hard, I think a lot of people are trying too hard, and I'm going to explain what I mean here. I've actually have an interview now scheduled and lined up for Friday for EA Games. Yes, that EA Games. If you're familiar with it at all, I know that it has not the best reputation in the gaming community. There's all sorts of predatory practices with loot boxes and things like that, whatever. When it comes to development, it's also well known within the coding community as being the quote-unquote McDonald's of the tech industry. And for that reason is because they actually pay some of their employees McDonald's level wages. So you might be like, oh, why do you want to work for EA Games? Well, let's look at it this way. If the choice is between working for actual McDonald's and getting paid McDonald's level wages, or doing a coding job in a nice desk area on a beautiful campus with like a world-class gym and all this other stuff and benefits and perks, but you also get paid McDonald's level wages, well, I mean, you'd rather do the coding because it also means that you can grow and you can develop, get skills that apply to your industry, my industry, as opposed to just working a dead-end job where you know that you're not going to go anywhere in McDonald's. Now, as it actually stands, I've been trying for 3 years to apply for a job at EA Games. I've sent my resume there for 40 different positions over the past 3 years, and I've been rejected from every single one of them. They wouldn't even bother to interview me. And I mean, my university, the University of Lethbridge, actually had a designated co-op program for students to do an internship program at EA Games, and I applied there with this previous game experience with like Pocketbug Games, and I was like so convinced that as a result I would get the position, but they didn't even bother to interview me. So at this point, and all of these applications and all of these rejection notices later, I've essentially just given up. At this point, I basically don't even care if I work there at all. And then that's when they reach out to me and offer me a job interview. And I find that this happens so many times in all sorts of different things. Say, for example, you're an artist or you're a painter. You do all of these paintings, all these grandiose, wonderful paintings, and then you try to get them into an art gallery. And you get rejected from those. You try to get them into some art showcase. You get rejected from that. Nobody's interested in your art. You try to get them into art magazines or whatever that they have for paintings, and everybody is rejecting it. Nobody's interested in your art. You get discouraged, you get put down, you feel like, why am I doing this? Why am I spending all of this time making this beautiful art? Nobody wants you. Put in art auctions, nobody buys your art. And so at some point you basically just say, I don't even care anymore. Like, I'll just go and I'll paint and I'll have fun doing it and I'll do it for me, but I don't care anymore if people recognize it or that they want to put it into some art gallery. And then at that moment is the moment that everything changes. Your whole world gets flipped upside down, and now like one person notices your art and they put it in some gallery, and the next thing you know, everybody else notices your art, and then your art is in magazines on the front cover, and you're getting all of this name recognition, and you're just like, I gave up, I didn't even care anymore. And then they reach out to you, and then in my case they reach out to me now that I don't even care if I get a job with EA Games. Another thing that comes to mind is, say, for example, relationships. Like, you may be going after, maybe you have a girl or a guy that you're really into, and you do all these nice things for them. You buy them presents, you ask to do things with them, and they're just not that interested. They don't even want to talk to you. They don't want to spend any time with you at all. And so you spend all of this energy, and it's exhausting, and eventually just like, I don't have the energy for this, I don't have the time for this, I don't even care anymore. And so you give up. And then that's when they notice you, or they start reaching out to you, or they ask you to go do something. And so it's ridiculous how this works, that it seems the harder you try to do something, the more that you're dedicated and focused on something, the harder it is to actually achieve. Because it puts you in this weird position where it's like you're trying too hard. You just need to let off. And when I say give up, I don't mean just give up, because obviously I still care. If I didn't care, I would just say no, whatever, when they offer me the interview. But I say, okay, yeah, I'm interested. One of the dates or whatever. So now it's set up for Friday. I've told my boss I need this week off so that I can prepare doing laundry, so I have nice clothes to wear. I can study up on some material, do some coding or whatever, get refreshed on that. And so I can go into the interview, practice whiteboard problems. I can go into the interview knowing that I'm going to be the best representation of myself. And if that's still not good enough, then there's nothing much you can do. But I just wanted to let it know that I now have a job interview lined up. And so hopefully the other thing too is that it starts in October, which is essentially the end of the ice cream truck season, which will be nice because that'll teeter off on the ice cream truck going down to Surrey, and then it'll be like, boom, you can start this full-time 9-to-5 job at EA Games in their Burnaby headquarters. And so I don't know what's going to happen, but just go on Friday with the best intentions, and that's all I can really do. Otherwise, thank you for watching this video, and if you like, feel free to leave a comment or whatnot. Other than that, thank you for watching. Bye.